All right, so today we're going to dive into the top exchanges out there that could be in line for some major moves within the crypto market, and also what this might do to the markets in general. Some of the altcoins, also even the season that could be playing into investing. Make sure and stay tuned on this one. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. All right, before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tangem. This is a self-custody wallet, and it's one of the best ones out there. I think if you guys are, if you're interested in self-custody, and if you're not, you should be. And one of the things you should be doing right now is looking at getting your tokens off exchanges. Now, exchanges are great for, acquiring new tokens and, to a certain extent, holding things during some active trades. But when you're looking at long-term holding, you want to be able to pocket those away on your self-custody wallet. Tangem is the way to go. Just go over to their website, tangem.com. You'll be able to get an additional 10% off just by using our code down below. Click that button up at the top right where it says Get Tangem, and you want the 3-card set. The 3-card set is very simple. It ties into your app, super sexy app, and you can carry one, start parking a couple, give one to your friends or your mom, your dad, your wife, your whoever it might be, your husband. So they've got a little bit of security as well. So it's a real great way to, of course, experience self-custody wallets. Check it out. All right, let's get into a couple of topics here today. I want to lead off with this right here, which is crypto stocks are riding the Bitcoin ETF wave. And I would agree with that. I think everybody's looking at Coinbase, Robinhood, even after their dismal earnings. You also look at scenarios that are happening within the mining ecosystem, MicroStrategy, of course, killing it right now. I think at over $1.5 billion in unrealized profits. But definitely the wave is out there, and stocks, including traditionals, are starting to ride the wave of where Bitcoin ETF is going. Coinbase now has no plans to launch a base token. There's a couple of points I want to hit on here and why it's important that Brian Armstrong hits on. I'm going to zoom out on that, and there's a couple of highlights here. Here we go. Armstrong told Decrypt that Base and other Layer 2 platforms are part of a very ambitious internal stretch goal to make the average transaction on Coinbase under 1 second and under 1 cent. This is a big deal because he's going to have to be layering up here in terms of getting ready to shift from quantity, or I should say quality to quantity, because this is going to be the case to be able to grow them, or having a whole litany of lines of revenue coming into Coinbase, which also could be another factor that will play into this. And remember, it's going to get heated in terms of competition, because you're going to have not only ETFs, but you're going to have places like Fidelity and others that are going to start to really ramp up. And at some point down the road, we're going to see banks in this. So a lot of these competitors out there understand where the roadmap is going. He says will also mean making Layer 2 the default on our platform, meaning Base, something that people do occasionally, where they bridge to Layer 2 and do something like that. Things like integrating Lightning Network on Bitcoin, integrating other Layer 1s that are very fast, like Solana. This is something that, of course, everybody talked about over the weekend, Solana getting pumped. 7% of transactions through Coinbase use Layer 2 currently. So that is another factor that could play into this. So lots of good statements, I think, there. A good article over on Decrypt. All right, so one thing to look at is Coinbase's current holdings. And you'll notice here on Bitcoin, you can kind of see right there on Bitcoin. I'm kind of zoom in on that a little bit, scooch over a bit. There you go. So current value around 40 billion and then 3.75 billion in ETH. Now, the difference to notice here is the ratio variation between Bitcoin and ETH compared to something like Robinhood. Quite a bit difference and much more balanced. So almost 5 billion in Bitcoin, 3.6 billion in Ethereum. So the comparison there, of course, quite a bit different between the two, which means the type of investor that lives within Robinhood. And when you think about what Robinhood is about to do, here, of course, was a tweet here by Vlad, CEO of Robinhood. Couldn't be more excited to be delivering the best of US to all the UK customers. And this means that Robinhood going live within the UK. Remember that there's going to be, or is, regulation within the UK around a lot of these projects, including a ton of things that we don't get access to even here in the United States. All right, so here's a clip I want to play with Robinhood going a little bit deeper on that. Listen in.
When will Solana be on Robinhood?
I can't tell you when a cryptocurrency will be live or not. And we're excited to keep expanding.
You guys just opened up offering in Nevada, and that crypto is now available in 49 states. But I'm like, What's this 50th state? Which one are we missing here? Love the expansion into the European Union. So you guys are just introducing out there. How do you anticipate this expansion will attract a broader customer base and contribute, of course, to increased revenues?
We are going to go to the EU by basically bring the same kind of feature that we brought in the US to the European market. And we're going to try to disrupt prices, and we're going to make it as simple as possible to get access to crypto and use it in your day-to-day. We are showing that at the end of the day, when you place an order on Robinhood, you get more crypto for the dollar that you spend on the platform versus the competition. If you're doing a dollar cost average, or if you're doing a very small order of a few bucks, you will get the most crypto for your bucks compared to other platform where if you're using dollar cost average, or if you're doing small order, you're going to pay a higher fee than if you're spending more money.
All right, so don't forget that Robinhood does have a wallet app. It's only available on iOS. This is the page over on the Apple App Store. But the interesting thing around this is this gets into DeFi, and that is another factor that I think also lures in the potential for NFTs and a lot of other applications that will really kind of tune into the right demographic. And I'll explain that a little bit further around where Robinhood's growth could happen. One thing to take note here, this is another thing to kind of look at, is the uptake. And if you look at, this is just a Google Trends search on Robinhood, the term, but it's only looking at the UK. And if you see it right here, interest over time, here's the spike right here, dramatic, just over the last few days. And that could all be leaning into what Robinhood is doing in terms of launching within the UK. Now, the question will be, is there enough activity in the UK to move not only the stock, Robinhood stock has been moving already, up 20%, I think, in the last week, but is it enough to move the crypto markets? Could we see some relisting of some of these tokens coming back in? More on that in a second. By the way, if you guys have not hit the like button right now, make sure and smash the like button. It does help the channel out. And it's one of the things, if you like these kind of breakdowns, it helps us kind of understand what you guys like too. So make this, if you're into Robinhood, Solana, other major tokens, smash the like. All right, one thing to be aware of right here. This just shows a little chart on Robinhood. If you guys want to go, you can search this out there. But right now, if you put in 10 bucks in ETH, right now, the crypto you would receive quite a bit more on ETH versus right on Coinbase, basically less 10% of the resulted in your ETH holdings. If you put in $100 in ETH, you're going to get what you'd receive is 0.06 more ETH versus minus 0.3% on Coinbase. This shows the variation on obviously the fees that relate to the asset that you're holding. So that is a big factor too, because the kind of people, I shouldn't say kind of people, just the generation that's going to be utilizing Robinhood and others, I think, that will start to maybe test for the first time, where's the easiest place for me to trade crypto? This could make a big, big factor, which I think goes back to the article when Brian was talking about they've got to be able to lower fees, which I think is also going to be very important because of what we're seeing in the institutional side of things. So big deal. All right, so let's go to another topic. And I want to hit on a clip right here of Robinhood talking about flight to safety. This is an interesting angle too. Listen in.
If you actually look at Robinhood Crypto, we launched at the top of the winter in 2018. So what we decided at the time was like, let's focus on the long term. The crypto is very cyclical, and when people are coming back or when there is more interest into the market, we want to be ready and we want to have the feature that people are asking for. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And we'll also gain market share on the pairs that we support. And that for me is really what I'm looking for. Is I want to make sure that for the feature that we have, we're actually winning in the market. I think also what we've seen during that time, we saw a flight of safety from our customers. Like we saw a large influx of customers coming into Robinhood and depositing their crypto. It was showing that what we are building, we are maybe a bit slower than the competition. We may not have all the feature of the competition, but we're a safe place for you to buy and sell and hold crypto.
And if you think about that flight of safety, crypto in general, Bitcoin, ETH in general, moving to Robinhood, especially by new investors or even people who just want to maybe put it in a place they feel is safe. And this is, of course, a publicly traded company, just like Coinbase. So I think that, of course, was part of it. If you think about the impact that Robinhood has on the markets, this is a good example. This is just a chart from Solana. And this was the date that Robinhood delisted Solana because there was a run up to it. It was back in June of this year. And you saw basically almost a 40% drop in Solana in that period of time, basically over just a handful of days, because of the only thing that was instrumental in that time was a delisting by Solana or by Robinhood in general. Now, sure, Solana regained, went to a nice $28, which was one of the pivotal points for Solana in general. But if Robinhood comes back in and relists Solana along with other tokens that also were delisted at the same time, we could see an interesting bump. If you look at what's happening over here at Cathie and ARK investments, one of the things that you got to look at, there's Coinbase, #1 position. But if you also look further on down, guess who's there? Robinhood holding in. And remember, there's a little bit of a shift right now in terms of some of her trades. Here's the Coinbase trade right now. Or no, this is the Robinhood trade right now, slowly going up. And if you look at Coinbase right here, Coinbase slightly adjusting down. Now, maybe she's taking profits, or is she saying, wait a minute, I'm getting ready for what could be a very active season within Robinhood. This could really start to take Robinhood. Remember, Robinhood was in a really good buying position overall over the past couple of weeks when they had turned in their last earnings. So it was an interesting point. The other thing that's kind of interesting right here that I found intriguing with Robinhood, because this is one of the categories that is absent in general investing today, especially in crypto, is right here. First of all, two things. 50% first-time investors, self-identified as first-time investors. That's a big deal. But customers on the platform also self-identify as women. This is 1 in 3. That's huge because now we're bringing in a whole new, I think, investor class with females coming into the space that we were missing in a lot of the early stages. And with that, I think we'll see a large amount of follow-on investors because even though with crypto, I don't necessarily want to call them crypto bros, but the male investor, yes, you get groups that will cycle together, but once a female gets into it, her friends will know it, all those. So you may end up seeing a lot of influence in the female sector overall, playing into, maybe going into Robinhood as one of the key areas. Another pivotal date you want to pay attention to, which is also crucial, obviously, because of the Coinbase lawsuit, is this whole issue around the legality and what is a security, what is not a security. That may line up with right timing with Robinhood also going out into the UK, and then maybe the SEC losing against Coinbase and possibly us seeing a absolute run on altcoins in the market coming ahead. So lot could happen there. This was just a tweet, in terms of John Deaton's, that January 17th date, which is very, very important. Think about that. So let's go over to Robinhood right now. Take a look at what is currently held. You see Tesla in there, Amazon, AMC, GameStop. So also Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA. These are majors. And of course, this is the traditional. I'd love to see this in the bubbles within the crypto market, which obviously we'd see Doge, I think, as one of the key players out there, along with Ethereum. But the point is that this is a certain style of investor. And that is the interesting thing that could cause a massive run of adoption around where Robinhood, but also crypto in general, are going to be going in the little bit of new age of crypto investing. Don't forget, a couple of things happened with Taylor and Beyonce. Two issues is this is more of these concert style movies, both of which hit #1. That's very unique. And of course, this was AMC. And I think one, strategically, was a good thing. So if you guys haven't checked out our latest video, we did a full, video around Taylor Swift, possibly around tying into ticketing and could she maybe lead a massive cadre of Swifties into crypto? And if they did come into crypto, what would be the platform they would choose? Could it be going the route of a Robinhood? Most likely demographic, style of investing, and also the type of potential investment projects they might go into could be perfect for Robinhood. So by the way, if you haven't checked out the video, go check out the video, just Solana payments updated, Taylor Swift incoming. Take a look at that one. All right, last up here are kind of following along with the psychology of GameStop holdings and the way that a Robinhood investor goes. Then you look at GTA 6 launching, and this is a big deal because if they do something even remotely close to AI, NFTs, which is maybe a very small factor, AI most likely. But this could also cause a massive surge, again, back into Robinhood, which will increase fees, possibly increase what we'll see in terms of overall traction. Make sure and check out, of course, our, or if you're not following, make sure and check out what Grand Theft Auto is going to be releasing tomorrow. So that could be big news for sure. Couple of points I wanted to hit on here that kind of showcase if Grand Theft Auto were to drop anything like a Meta bomb. And what I mean by that is when Meta launched into, I won't call it crypto, but into the idea of the Metaverse, what happened was it gave birth to a whole new industry of gaming, AR, VR. I think all of that was birthed off of that moment. And if you look at this, when it occurred, this was back in October of 2021. And right here is this run up. That was the announcement from Meta. And then boom, within a month and a half. Remember, this was toward the end of the last bull run. But the intriguing thing is that period of time. And I mean, technically you could say that that run really lasted from October 28th till right here, which was December 28th. So a 2-month run on the overall growth of an emerging market. And that could be the thing that could spur on from what is happening here on Grand Theft Auto. So interesting thing. Now, with that being the case, the key would be, here's of course, total 3 on taking a look of the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. But in general, if you look at the altcoins right now, this is the area we have been struggling to break, and we are right on it right now at around 430 billion overall as a market. If it does hit, that is the run point for altcoin season to begin. So right now, 421 right now. So we need a little bit to get going here. But again, this could be a catalyst that kind of takes us in to that next level. Bitcoin just as a quick run, still starting to push up. We're at 41.9, 49 as we film this right now, is 42 in the cards just here in a bit. Looks like it's going to break it right now. I'd love to get you guys' feedback. The market seems to be very heated up. Is the 42K going to be a potential retrace, or is this the window that everybody's been looking at to 50K? Let me know. Smash the like button. Give us some insights down in the comments below. If you're not part of the Diamond Circle, make sure and get in right now. It's another additional way for you to get more content. We do our Web3 Gaming podcast over there with Kyle. We also do an additional podcast, more analysis that do not make it here on YouTube. If you guys want to follow me on X, it's at Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.